Pokemon. Is there anyone on the planet Earth that hasn't heard of Pokemon? Whether it's the trading card game, the video games, or the animated series, everyone knows what Pokemon is. But in today's video, we're only going to be focusing on the video games. With every Pokemon game, there is a main goal to achieve. Some say it's to build a strong party of Pokemon and challenge the Elite Four and become champion. Others say it's to take on the battle frontier and win all of the challenges. But we all know what the main goal is: to complete the Pokedex and catch them all. And that's what we're going to be doing here today. Going back to where it all started in Generation 1. To complete the Gen 1 Pokedex, we're going to need to catch all 151 original Pokemon. And we're going to need all 3 original Pokemon games: Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow. We're going to start with Pokemon Yellow because on Pokemon Yellow, you can catch the widest range of Pokemon in the base game, being able to catch a total of 138 Pokemon, only excluding these 13. Plus, the sprites don't look like poo. But don't forget about Pokemon Red and Blue, as they will be needed later. I'm going to be using the Epilogue playback device to play my original Pokemon Yellow on the PC, which will help me easily record the gameplay for this video. Alrighty, we're going to split this up into multiple parts. Part 1, the main playthrough, which will just be a regular playthrough of the main story, whilst trying to catch as many Pokemon as we can along the way. Part 2, post-game and cleanup, which will be catching post-game only Pokemon, catching any Pokemon that we missed in the base game, and evolving all of the Pokemon that we have caught so far. Part 3, trading and unattainable Pokemon. This is where we will be trading any Pokemon that are unattainable in Pokemon Yellow from Pokemon Blue and Red, as well as trading Pokemon to evolve them. And for part 4, I think we'll leave as a bit of a mystery until we get up to it, because it'll need quite a bit of explanation. Without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, let's get started. The file data is destroyed. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Ah, well, doesn't matter. We're starting a new game anyway. Pokemon Yellow starts like any other Pokemon game, with the professor yapping away. In this case, it's the OG himself, Professor Oak. We listen to his yapping, play a bit of Super Nintendo, and we go outside for a stroll in the grass. Upon walking into the grass, Professor Oak spawns out of nowhere and warns you that's where Pokemon live. He proceeds to catch a Pikachu and escorts you back to his lab. And he gives you that same Pikachu that he just caught, because his nephew is a greedy prick who takes the Eevee. We whoop Professor Oak's nephew Gary's ass, then go to Viridian City to pick up Professor Oak's parcel. In return, Oak gives us the Pokedex. Here's where the real journey begins. We go back to Viridian City, pick up some Pokeballs, and now we can start finally catching some Pokemon. We go back to Route 1, where we pick up a Rattata and a Pidgey. Then we go on to Route 22. We pick up a Mankey and a Nidoran male and female. Oh, and we also give Gary his second ass whooping. This is only the second of many whoopings to come. We now head to Viridian Forest, where we pick up a Caterpie and just breeze through all the bug trainers. We then arrive in Pewter City, where we face our first gym leader, Brock. We defeat his Onix and acquire the Boulder Badge, along with the most useless TM of all time, Bide, which can go straight in the bin where it belongs. After beating Brock, we head east of Pewter City into Route 3, battle through all the trainers, and pick up a Sandshrew and Spearow. Now it's time for Mount Moon, where we catch a Zubat, Geodude, Clefairy, and a Paris. We 1v1 the Super Nerd, pick up the Dome Fossil, because everyone knows that Kabuto is way cooler than Omanite. Fight me. We then beat Jesse and James and send them flying off. I have a feeling that won't be the last we hear of Team Rocket. We exit Mount Moon and head into Cerulean City, where we defeat the gym leader Misty and her Starmie and pick up the Cascade Badge, along with the TM Bumblebee. To the left of the Poke Center, there is a girl that is looking for a good trainer to look after this Bulbasaur. And I mean, I happen to be the best trainer in town. Look at this shiny Cascade Badge. So we pick up this Bulbasaur and we head to Nugget. Oh shit, here we go again. Gary wants the smoke. We pack up Gary, clear out Nugget Bridge, and continue down Route 24. Oh, what's this? You don't want your Charmander anymore? Well, don't mind if I do. We grab up this kid's Charmander, catch an Oddish, Bellsprout, and Venonat. We then battle all the trainers on Route 25 on our way to meet Bill. except for this one trainer, as he serves a very special purpose that we will talk about later in part 4. Anyway, we meet Bill, help him out, and acquire the SS ticket. We depart Cerulean City and head to Route 5 on our way to Vermilion. In Route 5, we pick up a Jigglypuff and Abra. I also forgot to mention that I evolved my Pidgey to a Pidgeotto, and also evolved my Charmander into a Charmeleon. Then we finally arrive in Vermilion City, home of the 3rd gym, and its gym leader, Lieutenant Surge. In order to battle Lieutenant Surge, we have to get HM01. Cut. So we head to the SS Ant to pick up Cut. But right before we get Cut, we get interrupted by guess who? That's right, it's Gary. And you know what that means. It's time for rival battle number 4, where we once again come out victorious 4-0 undefeated. Anyways, we grab Cut and go on to beat Lieutenant Surge and his Raichu and acquire the Thunder Badge. Now that we have beaten Surge, this Officer Jenny will now deem us worthy of looking after this Squirtle, completing the collection of all the starter Pokemon. I also evolved my Sandshrew into a Sandslash. Oh, and we also pick up the Old Rod and get ourselves a Magikarp. Just to the right of Vermilion City is Route 11 and Diglett's Cave, where we catch a Drowsy and, you guessed it, a Diglett. I also evolved my Bellsprout into a Weeping Bell. Upon exiting Diglett's Cave, we find ourselves back in Route 2, on the eastern side, where we have our first trade of the game. Remember that Clefairy we caught earlier? Yeah. Say goodbye to Clefairy for a Mr. Mime. Bye-bye, Clefairy. Hello, Mr. Mom. On our way back to Cerulean City, we take a short stop in Pewter City and grab the old Amber, which will be needed to get Aerodactyl later. I also had to re-catch a Clefairy because I traded my only one. After getting back to Cerulean City, we head east to Route 9, defeat all the trainers there, and head to Route 10, where we grab a Magnemite and a Machop. We then continue onto the Rock Tunnel, where we only catch an Onix. We then exit the Rock Tunnel and arrive in... Wait. What's that sound? Am I the only one hearing this? Oh no. That's right, it's Lavender Town, the creepypasta central of Pokemon. But we're not going to stay here long, as we head on to Route 8, defeat all of the trainers, and head into Celadon City. Gambler's Paradise, baby. You know we just had to pay a visit to the Pokies and do a little bit of gambling. You know what they say, 90% of gamblers quit right before they're about to hit it big. Anyways, we do some gambling, as you do. Then we discover the Team Rocket hideout. Battle through all the Team Rocket goons, send Jesse and James flying off again, and find ourselves face to face with the man behind it all, Team Rocket's leader, Giovanni. We beat Giovanni and acquire the Sylph Scope, which will be needed for the Pokemon Tower in Lavender Town. Now, back to Celadon City, where we go around the back of this building, and oh, would you look at that? A free Eevee, just sitting there. Well, don't mind if I do. We snatch up this Eevee and head straight over to Celadon City Department Store to pick up a Water Stone and a Leaf Stone, which we'll use to evolve our Weeping Bell into a Victory Bell and evolve our new Eevee into a Vaporeon, because Vaporeon is my favorite. Comment down below what your favorite evolution is. It's gym battle time. This time we take on Erica, the grass specialist leader of the 4th gym. We beat Erica and her Tangela and pick up the Rainbow Badge. We head back to Lavender Town with the Sylph Scope and go straight to the Pokemon Tower. As we head up to the 2nd floor, we bump into Gary once again. And that's right, he wants a shot at the title. Of course, we get the W. I mean, what did you think was going to happen? Now that we have the Sylph Scope, we can finally catch some ghost Pokemon. As we continue climbing, we catch a Ghastly and 2 Cubones. We lay the Mother Marowak to rest, then we continue... Oh, shit. Here we go again. We send Jesse and James flying off for the 3rd time and rescue Mr. Fuji, who gives us the Pokemon Flute. But before we use it, we need to trade that 2nd Cubone I caught for old Ricky. A Machoke that evolves into a Machamp. Welcome aboard, Ricky. Okay. We give these gatekeeper guys a nice and tasty beverage, and he lets us through to Saffron City. The city is overrun by Team Rocket members, and we have to put a stop to their evil plans. We head to the Sylph Co building, going from floor to floor, battling every Team Rocket goon we find. Once we reach the 7th floor, we find Gary is waiting for us. He challenges us to a battle. We defeat him quickly because we've got bigger fish to fry. We keep moving forward, and oh, it's Jesse and James. We send them flying off again for the last time, sadly. I'm low-key gonna miss those guys. While editing this, I realized I kept saying flying off when it's supposed to be blasting off again. Yes, I am a dumbass. Back to the video. Anyways, we go on to battle Big Boss Giovanni and defeat him. We rescue the Silphco president and he rewards us with the Master Ball, which will come in handy later. We go back to the room before because if we talk to this guy, he gives us a Lapras. We're done with Saffron City for now because it's time to head to Fuchsia City. Okay, now it's time to use the Pokeflute so we can reach Fuchsia City. Wakey wakey, big boy. We catch Snorlax's fat ass, then continue onto the bike path, battling through all the trainers, evolving my Abra into a Kadabra. We also catch a Ponyta, a Doduo, and a Fearow. We continue along the bike path, and we arrive in Fuchsia City, where we pick up the Good Rod, go into this guy's backyard, and catch a Goldeen and a Poliwag. Then we face off against the Ninja Master Koga, leader of the 5th gym. We defeat his Venomoth, winning the battle and acquiring the Soul Badge. But there's still one thing left here to do in Fuchsia City. The one thing that I dread the most. The Pit of Despair itself. The Safari Zone. Not gonna lie, the Safari Zone almost drove me insane. Within this zone of Safari, we are looking to catch 11 Pokemon. You've got your easy ones like Rhyhorn and Parasect. Then you've got your hard one like Cipher and Pinsir, with encounter rates ranging from 4% to 1%, depending on which area you are in the Safari Zone. Enough said, let's get this over and done with. Firstly, we'll just do a regular run, grabbing HM03, Surf, and the Gold Teeth, which we give to the Warden, who gives us HM04, Strength, completing our collection of all 5 HM. Now it's time for the real challenge, catching the Pokemon. Let's just start with the easy ones. We catch a Rhyhorn, a Parasect, an Execute, a Nidorino, and a Ninarina. Easy ones out of the way. Now, onto the hard ones. Starting with Chansey. Man, I don't know what it is about Chansey, but I just hate Chansey. Honestly, this one wasn't that bad though. Even despite only having a 4% encounter rate. It only took like 3 or 4 tries. So far, so good. Next up, we go for Kangaskhan. Now, this is where it starts to get on my nerves. Even with a 15% encounter rate, it took me a good 20 attempts before I actually caught it. And it doesn't help that in these old Pokemon games, everything is just so slow. It's partially what drove me insane. I didn't speed up the gameplay or anything. I did this authentically because I had to suffer, just like I did when I was a kid. We go for the bull Pokemon, Tauros, next. With a 10% encounter rate, we get lucky and catch one after only 3 attempts. The remaining 3 all have encounter rates of either 4% or 1%. Out of these 3, we're going to be going for Cipher first. Not gonna lie, this one drove me over the edge. The amount of failed attempts was ridiculous. I don't even remember how many times this bugger got away from me. I failed that many times that I managed to catch a Pinsir in between trying to find a Cipher. And that was in an area where Pinsir had a measly 1% encounter rate. I thought to myself, there is no way I caught a Pinsir before catching a Cipher. But eventually we got the job done and secured our very own Cipher. Honestly, such a cool Pokemon. I've always loved the design of Cipher, but isn't there one more to catch? It can't be that bad, right? Right? Tangela, the spaghetti noodle Pokemon. This little fettuccine looking fuck escaped me for 2 hours. That's right, 2 hours. After numerous, and I mean numerous attempts, we finally secure a Tangela, and we can finally say goodbye to Fuchsia City. We return to Saffron City because we have unfinished business to attend to. We take on the fighting dojo where we beat all the fighters and the master of the dojo. He rewards us with the choice of either a Hitmonlee or a Hitmonchan. We take the Hitmonchan because Hitmonchan is cool as fuck. Now it's time to take on the master of psychic Pokemon, the leader of the 6th gym, Sabrina. We win the battle barely, taking down her Alakazam, and we earn ourselves the Marsh Badge. Now we are finally done with Saffron City. We venture on a bit of a side quest to the power plant, where we pick up a couple Pokemon, including a Grimer, a Muck, Magneton, a Voltorb, and an Electrode. We also pick up our first legendary bird, Zapdos, which will be crucial to beating the Elite Four. Now it's time to journey to Cinnabar Island. We start by going along Route 12, where we pick up the Super Rod and do a little fishing, picking up a Horsey and a Seadra. Near the bottom of Route 12, we also catch a Gloom and a Farfetch'd. We continue on through Route 12, 13, and 14, defeating all of the trainers, ensuring that our team is strong enough to take on the Pokemon League later. We arrive back in Fuchsia City with our new Super Rod and go back to Old Mate's backyard to do some more fishing. Oh shit, I think we hooked a big one, boys. We hook a Gyarados and add him to our Pokedex. We then head south of Fuchsia City, where we do even more fishing, catching a Tentacool and a Staryu. Now it's time to set sail and take to the sea. We surf along routes 19 and 20 until we reach the Seafoam Islands, where we pick up a couple water Pokemon, including a Slowpoke, Krabby, Seal, and a Kingler. Using strength, we stop the water flow and reach our second legendary bird encounter with Articuno, the Ice Birdie. We catch Articuno, which will also play a big role in beating the Elite Four. Now on to Cinnabar Island, home to the 7th gym, made up of fire Pokemon specialists and its gym leader, Blaine. Alrighty, let's go earn our 7th gym badge. Never mind, the door is locked. We go off to the Pokemon Mansion in search for the key to the gym. While we're here, we pick up a Growlithe, Ditto, and Raticate, because I can't be asked evolving a Rattata. We find the secret key, and now we challenge Blaine for the gym badge. We mop up his team with ease using our Vaporeon. We are rewarded with the TM for Fire Blast and the Volcano badge. Now that we've got that out of the way, we head down to Cinnabar Lab to get our fossils regenerated, turning our Dome fossil into a Kabuto and our old Amber into an Aerodactyl. With everything finished up at Cinnabar Island, it's time to head back to Old Viridian City, since all of a sudden the 8th gym leader has returned. I wonder who it could be. Even this guy at the door doesn't even know who the gym leader is, even though it says on the sign right next to him who it is. That's right, it's old mate Giovanni. We defeat Giovanni and get our last badge, the Earth badge, completing our collection of all 8 badges. Now it's time to take on the Pokemon League. We venture to the east of Viridian City on course for the Indigo Plateau. On our way there, we are challenged to a battle by old mate Gary. He wants to take on the 6-time rival battle champion. We defeat his Jolteon and win the battle, retaining our undefeated record. We continue on to the Indigo Plateau, passing all 8 badge checks. Now we get to that point in the playthrough that I feel like everyone is kind of like, oh shit, here we go again. It's Victory Road. Man, I don't know why, but I always dread this part. Let's just get this out of the way. We battle through all the trainers, catch a Golbat and the Graveler. Then we encounter our final legendary bird, Moltres. We catch Moltres, completing the legendary bird trio of Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres. We exit Victory Road and continue to the Indigo Plateau to challenge the Elite Four. We make sure that we have all the items we need and that our team is ready to go. Let's do this. We take on the first member of the Elite Four, the Ice Pokemon Specialist, Lorelei. Her team is made up of really strong Ice Pokemon, with the likes of Dugong, Cloyster, Jinx, Slowbro, and Lapras. It's honestly one of the more balanced teams among the Elite Four. I honestly usually struggle against Lorelei, and this is why we call it Zapdos. We use our Zapdos to take out Dugong, Cloyster, and Slowbro, one-shotting them all with a Thunderbolt. So far, so good. She sends out Jinx next, so we swap to our Sandslash, who barely survives an Ice Punch, and we respond with a massive Rock Slide, one-shotting Jinx. We swap back to Zapdos to face Lorelei's signature Lapras. We gamble with a Thunder, and it pays off, getting the one-hit KO and winning us the battle. That's one down. On to the second member of the Elite Four, Bruno, the fighting Pokemon specialist. His team includes Onix, Hitmonlee, Hitmonchan, Machamp, and for no reason at all, another Onix. Bruno's team isn't really that impressive, to be honest. We make light work of Bruno's team, using our Vaporeon to take out both Onix with Surf, and our Kadabra, who one-hit KOs Hitmonchan, Hitmonlee, and Machamp with Psychic, defeating Bruno. 2 down, 2 to go. We move on to the next room, where we find the third member of the Elite Four, Agatha, the old coot. and a ghost type team. Agatha's team consists of 2 Gengars, a Haunter, and for some reason unknown to me, an Arbok and a Golbat. Just like with Bruno, our Kadabra pretty much just obliterates her entire team one by one with Psychic. Kadabra is honestly just so broken in Gen 1. I think Psychic type Pokemon in general in Gen 1 is just OP. Anyways, we win the battle, taking down the 3rd Elite 4 member. 1 left to go now. It's time to face off with the last member of the Elite 4, Lance, the Dragon type specialist, with his team made up of powerful Dragon type Pokemon. Lance's team consists of 2 Dragonairs, an Aerodactyl, a Gyarados, and a Dragonite. So it's a pretty strong team, but that won't stop us. We use our Zapdos to take out Gyarados, Articuno to take out the 2 Dragonairs and Dragonite, and Vaporeon to take out the Aerodactyl, defeating Lance and completing our run of the Elite 4. But wait, we're not done yet. We have to take on the champion of the Pokemon League, our rival, Gary. And you know what that means. It's time for the final rival battle. Can Gary redeem himself, and will Jeji retain his undefeated status? It's time to find out. Let the fight commence. Gary sends out his Sandslash first, which gets one-shotted by our Articuno's Ice Beam. Next up is Alakazam, which we take out with our Sandslash using a Stab Dig. 2 down. He sends out his Exeggutor, which is dealt with our Articuno using Ice Beam for the 2-hit KO. Cloyster comes out next, but stands no chance against our Zapdos's Thunderbolt, getting the 1-hit KO. Only 2 left to go. Vaporeon takes out Ninetales with a 2-hit KO Surf, and Gary sends out his signature Jolteon. And we send out our Sandslash, of course, who finishes off the battle with a 1-hit KO Stab Dig, winning us the battle and earning us the title of champion of the Pokemon League. We did it, thanks to our great Pokemon team. And that concludes the first part of this journey, the main playthrough. Let's get a Pokedex check. We ended up catching 86 Pokemon out of the 151. We're a bit over halfway there, that's not bad. But now we move on to part 2, post-game and cleanup. Firstly, we're going to go back to Cerulean City, because now that we've beaten the Pokemon League, we've gained access to Cerulean Cave, where we catch some rare Pokemon, including a Rhydon and a Lickitung. Every time I see Lickitung, I just think of the Pokemon Stadium minigame, where you just have to keep eating food. Honestly, always loved that minigame. Anyways, we continue exploring the cave until we confront the legendary Mewtwo. We use our Master Ball and secure ourselves our very own legendary Mewtwo. We happened to miss a couple Pokemon in the main playthrough that we actually needed to encounter to catch. So we go to the bottom of the bike path and catch ourselves a Shelder. We also have to go back to the Safari Zone, unfortunately, and we catch ourselves a Dratini. Lastly, we catch a Psyduck and a Golduck. Moving on, we evolve all the Pokemon that we've caught along the way that require a level up to evolve. With that done, we go back to the gambling capital of the world because I'm getting withdrawal symptoms. I need to gamble. We grind the Pokies until we have enough coins to buy a Vulpix, Jigglypuff, and lastly a Porygon, which for some reason cost 9,999 coins. This shit took me ages, but we got the work done. Lastly, we use evolution stones to evolve our remaining Pokemon. Using the Fire Stone, we evolve our Vulpix into a Ninetales and Growlithe into an Arcanine. Using the Leaf Stone, we evolve our Gloom into a Vileplume and Execute into an Exeggutor. Using the Water Stone, we evolve our Poliwhirl into a Poliwrath, our Staryu into a Starmie, and our Shelder into a Cloyster. Using the Moonstones that we found throughout our journey, we evolve both our Nidorina into a Nidoqueen and Nidorino into a Nidoking. I think that's it, right? Oh, I almost forgot that we evolved our Clefairy into a Clefable. Clefable is just such a forgettable Pokemon for me. I don't know. And that concludes part 2. Let's get a Pokedex check. We have seen 140 Pokemon and caught a total of 129. That leaves only 22 Pokemon left to catch. It's time for part 3. Trading an unattainable Pokemon. This is going to require my copy of Pokemon Red and Pokemon Blue, as we need to trade all unattainable Pokemon and do every trade evolution. On our Pokemon Blue, we acquire a Weedle, a Meowth, Koffing, Magmar, Hitmonlee, Omanite, and another Eevee. We also trade for a Jinx and evolve a Pikachu into a Raichu, because you can't actually evolve your Pikachu in Pokemon Yellow. I guess it kind of takes away from it being Pokemon Yellow Pikachu edition. On our Pokemon Red, we catch an Ekans, Electabuzz, and pick up another Eevee. Now it's time to bust out the old N64 and our copy of Pokemon Stadium, because it's time to trade over the Pokemon that we caught from our Pokemon Red and Blue to our Pokemon Yellow. It's trading time. I tried to record me trading the Pokemon over, but unfortunately the footage ended up coming out like shit because I don't have a capture card and I had to try record my CRT TV. Sorry guys. Anyways, we trade our Kadabra, Graveler, and Haunter, evolving them into an Alakazam, Golem, and my personal favorite, Gengar. And then we trade all the remaining Pokemon from Red and Blue. After all the trading is done, we now need to evolve some of the traded Pokemon. We start by evolving the ones that need a level up to evolve, which include evolving our Meowth into a Persian, Koffing into a Weezing, Ekans into an Arbok, our Weedle into a Beedrill, and Omanite into an Omaster. Lastly, we evolve our two Eevees. Using the Firestone, we evolve one into a Flareon, and Thunderstone to evolve one into a Jolteon, thus completing part 3 of this journey to complete the Gen 1 Pokedex. Let's get a Pokedex check. 150 out of 151. That means that there's only one more Pokemon left to catch. And with that being said, we commence with part 4, Mew. Since there is no legitimate way to actually get Mew in this day and age, we're going to have to perform a glitch. To perform this glitch, we first need to trigger a trainer battle and quickly press pause before they begin to walk over to you. Once in the menu, we want to fly to Cerulean City. But why Cerulean City, you ask? Remember that one trainer that we avoided in Route 25? This is where he comes in handy. We defeat him and then fly to Lavender Town to trigger the battle with Mew. I have no idea why battling this youngster causes us to run into a Mew, but hey, I ain't gonna question it. Once we walk to this point, the game automatically pauses, and once we close the menu, it triggers an encounter with Mew. We end up catching Mew, the final Pokemon. And you know what that means? We've completed our Pokedex and collection of all original 151 Gen 1 Pokemon. We did it, boys. What a journey. After all the hardship and challenges we faced along the way, we finally did it. Now there's only one thing left to do. Grab our diploma to certify that we have completed the Pokédex. It's time to graduate, boys. I just want to say a couple of words. I would like to thank my awesome Pokemon team. I could not have done it without you. I would also like to thank you, the viewer, for making it this far in the video. I really hope you enjoyed this video. It was really fun to make. Who knows what journey awaits us next? Perhaps the Johto region, but who knows? Thanks for watching. Jeji out.